All right, welcome to episode 10 of Reality Rundown with myself, Connor Nelson, and my co-host Christian Holman. If you're watching on Twitch and you're new, drop a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And tonight's episode was finally the first live vote and eviction. The last two have been pre-recorded, but for some reason, I guess they're back to live. I don't know what the deal is there, but I like it better live. I don't know. There's really no difference, but it makes it feel like there's a difference.
Yeah, I figured the reason they weren't going live was maybe because of the fans, but I don't know. I didn't even know it was live tonight. I just assumed they were never going live again. So.
No, it was live. But I guess they just had to work some stuff out. I don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah, there's probably a few kinks, time difference. There's all kinds of things.
But this one was live, and this episode starts right after the veto, and it's I think Cody and the DR just saying how Janelle's the biggest threat, and Janelle's got to go, and how it's just Janelle is clearly the better player, better than Kaser, and that's the target this week. And basically that's how the whole house feels, except for a few. And it's not really like no traction really gets started with keeping Janelle. Maybe a little bit later on, but right now it's basically all Janelle. Janelle's going, and there's really no hope for her.
Yeah, everyone was pretty hell bent on saying that Janelle has to go. Everyone's saying, with the exception of you have three or four people being like, well, I kind of like to keep her, but everyone was a little scared to ruffle some feathers.
Yep, 100%. Then we get to Kaser, and he's just talking about how he's never been in the house without Janelle, and how he's just going to have to completely reset his game, completely restart, and start from scratch, basically, because he's never had to play without her.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see him play. I mean, again, we've never seen him not with Janelle. So
it's crazy. It really is crazy. In 3 seasons.
The greatest player of all time now. Who knows? We'll be
highly doubt it, but we'll see.
Be asking him to come on Big Brother 34 whenever we have the next All-Stars.
Yeah. So we get a scene of Tyler is in the kitchen with Janelle, and he apologizes to her, and she's like, "No, like it's the game. Like don't apologize. It's part of it." And you can tell that Tyler really didn't want to make this move, that he was basically kind of forced to. But
he did want to make the move, but at the same time, he started to regret it a little bit because
true.
And if he didn't, again, he was a little forced to because
he had to. Yeah, he didn't have an option. Yeah, if he wouldn't have made this move, then everybody's like, clearly there's something up with Tyler. Clearly he's working with them, and clearly he's shady. So it was really the only move he had to make, and I think Janelle knows that and knows that it's really not his fault.
Yeah, but best case scenario, if he didn't want to do it, would have been one of them to win veto.
Yeah, but during this conversation, you can tell that she's trying to get Tyler on her side, and it's like, hey, like if there's anything you can do, like just I want to play, I want to be here, and you can tell she's starting to like plant that seed early with Tyler because she knows if she gets Tyler, he can rally the rest of them.
Yeah, Tyler's very influential, which may not be the case after this week. I guess we'll find out. But
yeah, that's what I was talking about yesterday. I'm glad they showed that segment. We'll get to it, but that's the segment that I'm glad I'm really glad they showed it.
Yeah, it was really cool to see.
Probably the way I told you after the episode last night, like, didn't make sense, but that they they light it out.
Yeah. But it's Tyler is probably not looking good after all that, but we're not there yet.
We're not there. Yeah. So then we get to Kevin and Christmas in the backyard, and this was interesting to me because we have they're both talking about the vote and how it's gonna go. And Christmas is like, yeah, like Janelle's got to go. Like we've got to get Janelle out. And Kevin's just kind of agreeing and just like, yeah, like Janelle, we got to get Janelle out. And then it cuts to the DR and he's like, I really don't want Janelle out. Like I want Janelle here. Like, and they've had their differences and like he knows that Janelle was like trying to flip the votes against him and get him out of the house. But he knows that she's better for his game long term. But he's got to go with what everybody else is saying.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue with like Big Brother a lot lately, where no one wants to speak their mind and they just kind of want to go with the house.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing, since no one wants to say anything, no one's starting another side. So you're just having this one side who gets to control every little aspect.
Yeah.
And it's really unhealthy.
Because realistically, like, they could have gotten the votes, like, with the amount of people that wanted her to stay, theoretically, because they didn't even show, like, Cody was even talking about how he wanted Janelle to stay at one point. I don't know if he was 100% serious, but he was talking, like, it might be better for Janelle to stay. So if, like, someone could have worked that and been like if Bailey would have went to Cody and been like, listen, like, it's great for our game if Janelle stays, then maybe should have could have got it. But like no one wants to like make that move or make those like conversations happen because they're scared that it's just gonna go the other way and they're gonna get screwed. And
which is a reasonable fear, but at the same time, at some point you have to stand up for what you want in the house. So
especially if you're wanting to win, like you can make it to jury, sure, but like if you want to make it past that, you've got to start making moves for yourself to go further and not just help the other people go further. But I guess the other side isn't really seeing it like that. The Slick Six, it goes to them talking in the HOH room, which is Enzo, Bailey, Davon, Cody, Tyler, and Danny. Yeah. So they're up in the HOH room, and they're like, all right, we got to decide who is going home this week. And Danny instantly is like, Janelle's got to go. She's the better player. And then you can and then it cuts, I think, to the DR with Bailey, and she's like, listen, like I want Janelle here. She's great for my game. And it cuts back to them in the HOH room, and you can tell that Bailey's like wanting to subtly drop that Janelle is better off staying, but she doesn't really know how to work it because she knows like she's got to go with what they want. She can't go against them. So like she's like dropping like, like if we keep Janelle, like she's a big target. Like two girls have already left. Like it's been 2 girls back to back. This is another girl going to be gone, and that's going to be 3. And then next week, who knows? It's probably just going to be another girl. So she's trying to work that angle, but it's going nowhere. Like they're all just like, yeah, like maybe, but no, like we got to get Janelle out.
The thing that didn't make sense to me was the way I heard it. I may not have heard it correctly, but it sounded like she was saying that to the guys. It's like,
yeah, like they're glad. Like
she was making it sound like, hey, you may not want to do that because you're running out of girls. Well, okay, that means they're staying longer.
Yeah.
So exactly. I didn't understand that. I didn't know if there was something there. So
yeah, and then right after this, we get a segment of Davon in the DR talking about how she also wants Janelle to stay, which this is, I think, the first time that it shows her, like, kind of being like, yes, I think Janelle's good for my game. I want her to be here. So, so far that means Kevin, Bailey, and Davon want Janelle, like, 100% to stay. And then if they can get 3 more people, and there's been rumblings of people talking here and there, they could have gotten the vote, but I feel like no one really tried to, like, get it except for Janelle. But
yeah, I mean, there was no one really working for it. I don't think Janelle hit the right people and pushed the right buttons.
Yeah,
where
she was playing the whole, if I can get 5, will you be my 6th? If I think I can get 5, and then they ask like, who do you got? And she can throw 3 people up there, and 2 of them are maybes. Like, no one's gonna stick with that. Like, you gotta have like solid people that are voting for you, because no one wants to split. No one wants to be on that opposite side of the vote. So you can't just be like, if I'm Memphis, like if I get 5, you'll definitely be my 6, right? No, Memphis is not gonna, like, I know you think Memphis is with you, but he's not.
Yeah,
so
it's
just
found out later.
Yeah,
but
it's tough.
Yeah, she definitely she didn't campaign correctly.
No, and after you would think after the 4th time or the 3rd time being there, you would learn. But
I mean, if she knew everything we knew, it's really easy. But with her not knowing what we know, clearly it's not as simple.
She thought the complete opposite of what we know. So that's kind of, I guess, why. Then we get Christmas and Kaser talking, and this is when Kaser's like, I know that I'm basically staying at this point, so I need to just play it cool. Don't go like over the top of like campaigning against Janelle. Just lay back, blend in with the crowd. And that's basically what Christmas is saying. She's like, I really think you're in a good spot. Like, I think you're in a good spot to stay. I think you're in a good spot going forward. And like, I really would like to work with you when you do stay. And I don't think this is real. I don't think Christmas really does want to work with him. I think she's just saying this so like in case he wins and gets in power, that she's one of the ones that are safe. But we'll see what happens. I just don't see it. I don't see them two working together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about their relationship in the house.
But to be honest, Christmas is playing a great game.
Yeah, I mean, definitely seems that way. I think everyone likes her. She's real peppy and a good competitor. So
yeah, I mean, I think she's in a good spot. She's good with everybody. Like this conversation with Kaser, I think Kaser really likes her. I think Kaser believes her, but I just don't see Christmas staying true to it. But
Christmas also isn't really the backstabby type from last season.
I don't feel like she didn't do anything last season. She just literally got drugged to the end by Paul and Josh. So
she got drugged because she was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
But she didn't really go against anybody while she was on. So
I don't know.
it's
She
I mean,
did. She got fiery though in her season, which we haven't seen. Like she's willing to like scream and yell and go off and scream, but none of that's really happened yet. So we'll see if that happens going forward. But so far, it just feels like everybody likes each other and no one's really gonna like say anything. Like even with the eviction speeches later on, it's like you think you're gonna get something and you don't.
nope, everyone's just too happy together.
Yeah. And so next we get Ian and Christmas outside, and this is the part where Ian's just like, my goal going in was just to play dumb, blend in, don't do much until about week 5 or 6, and then start playing. And he's laying it on thick.
Yeah, the whole going into the DR and telling everyone that you're playing dumb is a great strategy in case you actually are that dumb.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm ever on the show, I'm definitely gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just
Playing
acting dumb."
Yep.
That's the whole season. I just acted dumb.
And I think he learned that from the first season, because his first season he went on, he was very lost like early on. He didn't know what was going on. He wasn't in the loop, but he thought he was. So like he played it off like he knew everything. He was so smart. He knew what was going on, but in reality he knew the opposite, and he didn't know anything that was going on. So I think this year going in, he was like, I'm just gonna play dumb, and if I do know what's going on, great. But if I don't, who cares? I'm playing dumb.
Yeah, he's doing everything he can.
I lost audio. You still there?
Hello.
There we go. Hello.
Hello,
there we go.
hello,
I got
hello.
you. You're back.
There we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, appear. Can you hear me?
You're like cutting in and out. I don't know.
Yeah, the Twitch is messing up too.
Yeah.
You
mine's
go
my
ahead and
internet.
talk for a second while I check.
I think it may be my internet, but it might be spotty for a minute. But yeah, he's playing dumb, and I think he's doing good at it. Like he's blending in. Not on many people's radar. He was the first week or two, but right now, I mean, he's not. Nobody's talking about him. No one's like, oh, we need to get Ian. But that first week, I feel like everybody's like, oh, Ian's won. Like Ian's sneaky. I don't trust Ian. And now you don't really hear about like anybody talking to him. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's laying low enough to where people are not going to be stressing out. My Twitch is messing up bad.
You're good. Don't worry about the Twitch. Don't worry. I think it's just internet's all jacked up, but our connection's good on Discord now, so I think we're good.
Okay, but yeah, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. As everyone knows, Ian's super smart. I mean, he taught chemistry or something.
Yeah.
Or what was it? I think we talked about it yesterday.
Physics.
Yeah. So he's super smart. Everyone knows it. So to at least act a little dumb, good move.
Yep. So then we get basically the whole segment of Janelle's campaign, and I think it shows her going to Davon first, and Davon already wants her, so this campaign really doesn't mean much, but like she's just like, I can be good for you, like I want to work with you, and basically that was all that was. But it goes like Davon, then to Kevin, and I think she feels like she has to work Kevin a lot because she knows that Kevin knows that she was going against him, but Kevin seems to want her. And then she goes and talks to Danny, and she's like, if I can get 5, like, will you be my 6? Like, I think I've got Memphis, I think I've got Danny, I think I've got Davon, I think I've got Bailey, and I think I've got Kevin. So, like, if I can get that 5th, will you be my 6? And Danny's kind of like, like, I don't know, like, maybe, but, I mean, sure, yeah, like, whatever. And it's not convincing at all.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. And then with what she was telling Danny, you could tell Danny was just sitting there eating up the information she's getting. Like you could just see the cogs turning.
Yeah.
And like every name she threw out Davon, Bailey, Memphis, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was another one. And literally all 3 of those people are in an alliance in some way with Danny.
Yeah.
Which instantly puts them in a situation.
Yeah. And then but this does show that like she has basically 0 chance of getting her vote like going forward. So
which is
but and so then it shows Bailey talking in the DR, and she's like, she's going after all these people, but the person she needs to be going to is Cody. If she can get Cody, Cody can get Enzo, and if she gets Enzo, she's got me, she's got Davon, she's got Kevin, she's got maybe Memphis, so like she could get it. But like it feels like she's not even trying with Cody. But then it shows her talking to Cody, and it doesn't seem like she's getting much here.
Yeah, I mean, they did a decent job at making it look like there was a chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
she offers up.
Obvious
she offers up her wedding band.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious that everyone wanted her out.
Yeah.
She, I think again, had she been staying, they would have shown a little bit more of other people talking opposed to just Janelle talking.
Yeah.
To people.
I agree with that. But yeah, Cody, in that talk, I think he tells her, he's like, no, I can't take your wedding band. Like, I'm not doing that. But I don't think they show that in the edit. So I think they wanted to show that there was somewhat of a chance there. Then we get to the segment of David, the rookie segment of David, and
lip sync alliances.
Correct. And it starts with David and Bailey in the Have Not room, and they're talking, and he's like, I gotta tell you something. Like, I heard that Davon last week was trying to flip the votes against me and try to get me out of here. And Bailey's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, this is just what I heard. Like, I don't know. I didn't believe it. I didn't think anything of it, but it's just, I just want to make sure that everything's good. And she's like, I mean, that didn't happen, but we definitely need to talk to Davon about this, because if you don't trust her, like, there's got to be trust here. So we definitely got to talk about this. And so it goes to the love room, and it's them three in the room, and he's just like, yeah, I heard from Cody and Tyler, which, why would you say that? It's just, it
Very
doesn't
dumb.
make any sense whatsoever. But he's just like, yeah, Cody and Tyler told me last week that you were rallying votes against me and trying to get me out of the house. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I didn't. Like, this didn't happen. Like, I put my neck on the line for you. Like, it was to the point where you came up to me and told me to calm down. Like, I was campaigning that hard for you. And you could tell, like, she was not happy. But the thing about this was, like, I don't know if she in her mind believes that she wasn't doing this just because she wasn't rallying people, but she was definitely in a group or part of a group that was, like, for getting him out. So
Yeah, she was having conversations with that group where they were trying to figure it out.
yeah.
So
And she was for it, and she was like, I'm definitely, if we can get the votes, I'm for it.
Yeah.
But now she's acting like, and even away from David, she was acting like that didn't happen, but it definitely happened.
Yeah. It was so dumb of David.
So dumb.
Hilarious.
Like, and there was no reason. Like, I would get it if it was like his game move, and like he was